And you played up all night long. I know I'd said I played too, but I had enough of this town. If only I could get around.
Welcome to the starting line of another episode of InRetroSpect. As usual, we'll be looking at a game released 15 years ago and seeing whether that title still has what it takes to get the checkered flag and be top of the podium after all of this time. And as always, the game must be able to stand on its own without the rose-tinted glasses of retro fandom tainting our opinion of it. And I'm going to let you know whether I think it's still worth hunting down a copy today. So, on with the show, and it's an offering from Sega's 16-bit home console with the arcade racer Virtua Racing. Having already had a racing review this year, and a 3D racing review in particular, I'm worried about how to approach Virtua Racing. After all, this is a title that appears on hardware far inferior to that of Ridge Racer's home platform, so it is going to be a step back in terms of appearance and audio quality. The game engine too is likely to suffer from being last gen, but none of that should matter. This is Sega doing what it does best, experimenting with technology, pushing the gaming envelope, and knocking out an arcade game in the twilight years of the amusement halls of our past. So, it's got to be good, right? Well, then again, there is no true Virtua Racing sequel. Why wouldn't Sega capitalize on a brand? After all, we now have several Virtua Strikers, Fighters, Cops and tennis games, so why not Virtua Racing? I think Virtua Racing is going to be a mixed title, a strong idea and a fun experience, jaded by the technical shortcomings of the time, i.e. a proprietary 3D engine that can't quite keep up. It'll be interesting to compare Namco and Sega's offerings, major arcade rivals at the time, mainly to confirm the leaps in 3D fidelity, but also to show what the arcade and home racing scene were looking for in their four-wheeled titles. The SVP, or Sega Virtua Processing Chip, is really the most well-remembered aspect of Virtua Racing, as it was the only title to actually ever use it. At its fundamental level, it's the SFX chip for the Mega Drive, and allows for true 3D on a console released in 1988. It was also fairly powerful and became the basis for the technology that would become the Sega 32X. So it's really a whole new add-on in one cartridge. Because of this, the original British retailing price was an incredible £70. Additionally, it's one of the first 3D races to offer multiple views of the action, which means the player can better choose the experience they want, with the in-car view being especially impressive, even going so far as to render the hands of the driver moving the wheel. In arcades, the game flourished, until a manufacturing bug was discovered that meant the screens had a very limited lifespan, and it's now very difficult to find an original cabinet. Other than that, Virtua Racing's claim to fame is having probably the worst named character in all of video games. In the arcades, an additional screen could be added for spectators to watch that highlighted especially interesting bits of the race, and this also had commentary from, wait for it, Vert McPolygon. Yeah,